To bridge that gap, I think MBA probably is the best course in terms of identifying the gaps, overcoming them, and be able to achieve your own target, whether you want to take up a more meaningful role in a company. We back fearless entrepreneurs with disruptive solutions.
Okay. We back fearless entrepreneurs with disruptive solutions.
Yes, okay. Fearless entrepreneurs with disruptive solutions. This is their line. What if मेरा idea नहीं चला? What is my plan B, plan C, plan D? The entire ecosystem at an IIM and other top B schools gives you that confidence to be fearless.
And IIM tag. An IIM tag is a pride. It is emotion. It is a sensation. Perhaps because it gives you a white-collar lifestyle. Perhaps because it gives you standing in the society. And perhaps because it helps you in pulling others in that world. So today, when we are going to talk about the world of IIMs and CAT, we have amongst us Mr. Bhushan Bapat, an IFT alumnus, widely regarded as best faculty of CAT, and most importantly, in last 7 attempts, haven't scored an inch less than 99.8 percentile. A very, very warm welcome, Bhushan sir, over here. So once again, a very warm welcome, Bhushan sir. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for such a warm welcome, Rahul sir. I'm very happy to be here.
So, when Bhushan sir is here, why don't we ask him some tough questions? Because, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि tough questions पूछे जाने से जो चीज़ें बाहर आती हैं, वो usually simple questions पूछने से नहीं आती. तो थोड़ा सा उल्टा लेके जाते हैं इस जर्नी को and let me ask him, MBA की ज़रूरत क्या है? Why should one think of pursuing MBA? Is it worth?
All right, so I don't think it's a tough question by the way, but let's go ahead with it. So I think MBA की ज़रूरत क्या है? I think किसी भी चीज़ की ज़रूरत अराइज होती है when we talk of the gap. तो currently, if you talk of working professionals who are working in one or the other company, they'll want to see कि उनके career growth की trajectory क्या है, what is it that they want to become few years later, and if they feel that there is a gap, कि अगर मैं इसी कंपनी में कंटिन्यू करूँगा, let's say for 5 more years, I don't see myself achieving a certain level of position, or for that matter, you have a business idea and you want to start something of your own, then why don't you do it straight away? आप अभी से अपना business start क्यों नहीं कर देते? So clearly there is a gap in the minds of people कि अभी नहीं कर सकता because I don't know this, अभी नहीं कर सकता because I don't have funds, अभी नहीं कर सकता because of some or the other reason. To bridge that gap, I think MBA probably is the best course in terms of identifying the gaps, overcoming them, and be able to achieve your own target, whether you want to take up a more meaningful role in a company, whether you want to start something of your own, be an entrepreneur. I think either of the two ways. In fact, बहुत jokingly ये भी बोला जाता है कि there are some people who have this thought कि I want to do nothing in life. तो then I hope everybody takes this in good humor कि it is said कि अगर आपको nothing भी करना है तो then you will be able to do that nothing much better after your MBA.
After MBA. So एक इस चीज़ को और थोड़ा सा गहराई से समझते हैं. Let me ask you this. If somebody starts a business without an MBA and somebody does it with MBA, what will be the difference?
So I think one is structured learning.
Right.
I mean, you can always learn on the go. तो जब भी आप अपना खुद का venture start करते हैं, you will come across various challenges, you will overcome problems on your own, but it will take time. तो जो चीज़ आप 5 या 6 साल या 8 साल में जाके सीखोगे, एक MBA करिकुलम आपको वो 2 साल में कंडेंस फॉर्म में, rigorous learning के फॉर्म में सिखा देता है. The other advantage is your ability to network and connect with people. And again, the same part. शायद आप वो networking over a period of years build कर पाओगे, but that will happen very quickly in a very short span of time when you happen to do an MBA. Plus, I think if we take examples, for example, IIM Ahmedabad, I think has a center for innovation, incubation and entrepreneurship.
Okay.
तो उनका एक बहुत interesting line है website पे. We back fearless entrepreneurs with disruptive solutions.
Okay. We back fearless entrepreneurs with disruptive solutions.
Yes, okay. Fearless entrepreneurs with disruptive solutions. This is their line. So when you think of an entrepreneur, I think the first word that comes to mind is a sense of fear. What if मेरा idea नहीं चला? What is my plan B, plan C, plan D? The entire ecosystem at an IIM and other top B schools gives you that confidence to be fearless. And I'll tell you how. It's not just a sense of academic learning or peer learning जिससे confidence आ जाएगा. There are actually areas and initiatives taken by IIMs to make students feel secure. For example, अगर आपका incubation center में कोई startup चल रहा है, you get this opportunity to opt out of placements once you do your MBA and resit for placements within a span of 2 years, which is called deferred placements.
Deferred placements. Okay.
So there is this guaranteed plan B कि अगर मेरा business नहीं चला, तो I can again sit for placements and take up a job.
So I think it's basically the same thought that, what is gamble and what is calculated gamble, or how do you prepare an individual for risk-taking ability? Because entrepreneurship में risk-taking ability is of foremost importance. Now let me ask this. I've got one question from one of my student. Many IIM alumni have achieved great success in various fields. How does a top B school foster a culture of entrepreneurship and innovation?
Again, as I said, there are multitude of things that tend to happen in a B school curriculum. So be it real life case-based discussions, live projects, there are capstone projects, industry visit, leadership talks. There are n number of different things that happen. You have connections with National Entrepreneurship Network. I think almost every top B school has an entrepreneurship cell, which is completely run by students only. So being involved in such an ecosystem, you get to understand the nuances of how to do business properly. You also look at other businesses that are both successful and are failures, and I think you learn more from failures compared to successes. So to be able to be in that system where you're constantly learning and upgrading yourself and preparing for challenges, I think makes you confident enough to take up any challenge whatsoever.
Right. So rightly being said that experience is important, and now from the same thought, the next question which I'm going to put is, how is that despite being so old, IIMs are still relevant? Because today it's a new era, and certainly क्या IIMs आज भी वो value hold कर रहे हैं?
In fact, I would say that is the wrong question to ask. Despite the fact की जगह ये होना चाहिए because of the fact that IIMs are so old.
Okay.
I think it is one of the primary drivers
Right.
For them being relevant today. I'll give you an instance की why is this important, why being old is an advantage. I think there was one WhatsApp forward which became very viral in the last few days. वो WhatsApp forward ऐसा था कि there is this FMS alumni का WhatsApp group, and one of the persons mentioned this that is there anyone in L'Oreal? I want to refer someone for a role. And in 7 odd minutes, somebody replied that I am from L'Oreal. Can you guess? I mean, you can't even guess कि जिस person ने वो reply करा होगा that I am from L'Oreal, वो कौन होगा? So I think if I'm right, he was the then MD of L'Oreal India.
Achha.
So imagine as a student, you're a part of a WhatsApp alumni group. You're thinking कि L'Oreal is my dream company, I want to get a job in that. And the MD, managing director of that company, is saying that I'm from L'Oreal, shoot your doubts or questions or whatever.
So WhatsApp group is making your dreams come true, guys. This is what an MBA does. And certainly, I think I would also like to understand on this ground, what are the different career options available, sir? Because, एक WhatsApp ग्रुप से एक IIM alumni को ये L'Oreal जैसी बड़ी कंपनी का कॉल आ जाता है, डायरेक्ट MD पूछता है, तो certainly it's adding a lot of value to your life.
Yeah, just a small correction. I don't think you'll get a job directly by that process. So let's be honest here.
Honest over here.
But the idea is at least you get to interact. I mean, being in the same WhatsApp group with people who are CXOs in itself gives you a lot of confidence. So let me be very clear. There is no intention of saying कि IIM में जाने के बाद WhatsApp से ही आपको job मिल जाएगा. So that is not the idea.
That's an exaggeration. So sorry for that particular part.
Yeah, but just to answer your this question with regards to what was the point that you were raising with regards to?
I just wanted to understand the careers. So what are the career options available out there?
So I think there are a range of diverse career options that you can think of. You can be an investment banker in a company like Goldman Sachs. You can be a consultant at McKinsey. In fact, a very niche and a profile that I really liked was being a data analytics consultant for an IPL team.
Oh,
so think of...
I just saw Inside Edge 2 days ago, so I think that correlates over there.
Right. So, think of your interest area, think of the knowledge that you possess and the skills that you have. So if you find that you are a right fit for a certain kind of role, I think all the management related roles that you can think of and not think of as well, you'll be able to get a job in one of these roles. So typical finance, marketing, operations ke role to hai hi, but there are some very niche roles as well that you can think of.
In a nutshell, if you can tell me now, what are the biggest takeaways after doing MBA?
I think primarily the 2-year academic experience of staying in a residential program is the biggest takeaway. But I think that is very cliched. So over and above, I think networking is clearly one of the biggest takeaways. If you think of the typical batch strength, तो आपके 2 साल के रेसिडेंशियल प्रोग्राम में आपकी बैच में you'll have 500 students year 1, so you'll have 500 seniors to interact with.
Almost 1000.
Then when you move to second year, 500 new people will get an influx. So overall 1500 लोग तो आपके बैचमेट्स सीनियर्स या जूनियर्स हैं, which are again very talented, intellectual, highly ambitious, top of the पाइल वाला
White collar profile, as I was mentioning in the
Right.
introduction, right?
तो इस लेवल की नेटवर्किंग तो आपको वो 2 साल में ही मिल रही है. Then once you pass out, you are an IIM alumni. So therefore, being in those groups, networking with people across different events. So I think networking, in short, is one of the biggest takeaways. उसके अलावा I think peer learning is also very underrated. For example, what are the kind of candidates that you'll have as batchmates? You'll have CAs, CS, engineers from IITs, NITs.
And that too from diversified background.
Correct.
Right?
You'll have a in my batch, I had 2 doctors,
Right.
MBBS.
Yeah.
So imagine people who have done their MBBS.
Right.
They have their own clinics operational. They want to diversify in a different field, and they are apart. So, staying with them in a residential program gives you insights into what kind of thought process they have. They have different ideas, different way of.
They have had a
doing
different
things.
upbringing also.
Correct.
Right.
So getting to learn, I think, from peers is again a biggest takeaway.
Right points being made over here. I think somebody coming from Kerala, somebody coming from West Bengal, and both of them are top brains and are going to study with you. Certainly, that's going to add value to your life. Next question is, what is a typical day in a B school like? So this question was given to me by one of my students. Just ask him this because he is an IFT alumni, and certainly he will be the best person to answer it.
Typical day. I think one of the students, I'm a trainer for CAT for last so many years. So I think students बहुत अच्छी taglines या catchlines देते हैं. So the 3 words that come to mind are hustle, hectic, and holistic. So I think ये 3 keywords define करते हैं किसी भी typical B school student की journey. It's very hectic. So typically classes start around 8 or 9. Classes would run till 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Then you get your lunch. One interesting thing about, I think, all the top tier B schools is surprise quizzes. So while you're having your lunch at 1:30, 2 o'clock, you might get a notification कि आपका 2:30 बजे एक surprise quiz है.
Oh my God.
Why is it called surprise? Because sometimes you don't even know कि किस subject का है और क्या syllabus है.
Okay.
So at, let's say, 2:30, 3 o'clock, you will appear for that quiz. Then you'll go back to your room, complete your assignments जो class में आज मिले हैं. Then there is a set of pre-reading material that you are expected to go through before you come for next class tomorrow.
Yeah.
तो typically case studies will range from anywhere between 20 to 25 pages. ऐसे अगर 3 subjects की case study भी ले ली तो that's 100 pages of material, and which is why I think CAT की preparation में जब हम VARC की बात करते हैं, why is it so important कि you should be very comfortable in your ability to read and comprehend data very quickly. Because आपको 100 पेज तो अगले दिन के लिए पढ़ के जाना है और आज जो पढ़ा है उसकी समरी भी करनी है. Then there are tons of case competitions that you'll want to participate in. इन सब के बाद you'll always have this question कि यार entertainment के लिए क्या करा? So you want to play TT in the night and play cricket, basketball, whatever. So typically it is said कि 3 से 4 घंटे is the average amount of sleep that students get in the first term at least. I think that's a bit of exaggeration. You can get 5 to 6, 7 hours of sleep. But yeah, in some nights you'll probably get 3 hours or even less. Sometimes you'll have all-nighters.
And perhaps it is because it is residential program और जब आप friends के साथ होते हो एक माहौल ही अलग होता है.
Right.
So perhaps because of that ये एक अलग ही माहौल होता है when you have to be with people and learn with them. So rightly being mentioned by him that in Gen Z dictionary we use these terms quite often. In fact, hustle बहुत use हो रहा है आज के time पर sir. And since you have been training CAT kids from long, and one question I particularly got it over here, and I wanted it to be a tough one. So let me read out this for you also. Sir, so you have been through this journey of CAT. Then you did your MBA from IFT Delhi, and then you worked in the field of international business outside India. Why did you come back to India in the field of teaching?
I think this is a question that has been asked to me by a lot of my students as well. I'll be very honest here. I wanted to be in the field of teaching and training since my college days. In fact, the thought was कि college के बाद सीधे हम CAT के trainer बनने का thought दे सकते हैं. But then I was very naive at that point in time. I felt कि अगर मैं CAT पढ़ाने के लिए क्लास में जाऊँगा तो students का general reaction ये रहेगा कि सर आपने CAT दिया था क्या आपने MBA किया है? So if you have not done that, does it? Do you have any authority to be a trainer in the CAT field? But now having been spent so many years in the CAT training field, I realize that that's a fallacy. You don't need to do MBA to be a good teacher or a trainer for CAT. In fact, critical reasoning में common question आता है कि can someone who has not done that particular program be efficient enough, effective enough to be able to teach that program? So fallacy वही है कि आपको ट्रेनर बनने के लिए उस प्रोग्राम से जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. Because these are two different things. But then at that point in time I had this thought, so I appeared for CAT, I appeared for all the other entrance exams, joined IFT Delhi. अगेन IFT जाने के बाद भी पेरेंट्स का थॉट था कि अब अगर तू टीचर बन जाएगा तो फिर अगेन MBA क्यों करा, तो एटलीस्ट टेक सम एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ द कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड. सो आई वर्कड इन अ कंपनी कॉल्ड Valency. I used to handle exports imports for different products across the countries of Southeast Asia. I think it was a very challenging and exciting job, a good learning experience for me. But then I felt now this is time, because if I spend 3 more years, I think with the kind of lifestyle that you'll have, the kind of difference that I want to make in the field of teaching and training, I'll not be able to make. So I decided to come back to India, come back to Indore, my hometown, and became a trainer for CAT. Also, I think because of my diversity of interest, I decided that I'll take all areas. So I teach classes for QA, DI, LR, English, critical reasoning, decision making for that. I think this field provides you that kind of an high. So I think some of you who are public speakers would be able to relate. जब आप एक 50 लोगों की क्राउड के सामने जाते हैं, so there is a different experience altogether. A lot of times people ask me कि सर ज्योमेट्री तो वही पढ़ाना है, 4 साल पहले भी आपने वही थ्योरम करवाई है, आज भी वही करा रहे हो, आप बोर नहीं हो जाते हो. So I think थ्योरम तो वही है, पर बच्चे बदल गए ना. So the interaction changes completely. So I think that answers your question.
I think it was a fantastic interview, guys, and certainly I think going to add a lot of value to your lives. And certainly, SG CAT is in the offing, and Bhushan sir is going to take care of it. SG CAT, Supergrads CAT, is the new venture that's coming in, and it is from Top Rankers. We'll be giving you an update regarding it in the days to come. Thank you for joining us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you also.